As all right, we're already through a little bit through the first pick so far. Vitality taking away some ADC options.
And I like that because Exakick, we haven't seen him really show us a lot of variety in the AD carry pool. So it's just starting to take away a bunch there, especially because it looks like Vitality.Bee are setting themselves up for the Jinx pick where, all right, you take away Zeri, take away Aphelios, now you have to ban Jinx, otherwise we're going to first pick it, and then you have to pick something else.
You know, I do wonder that if all three of these ADCs are banned, realistically, what do you lock in, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Vitality.Bee, right, considering if Lee Sin goes away, maybe if they ban Jinx here, then like I guess you first pick Xin Zhao, but that's the most I can think of at this point.
Probably. It depends on what LDLC banned third here. We could easily see that Jinx come through, and then, yeah, you probably just start to look for a jungle pickup there for Vitality.Bee. I mean, Jessica especially has definitely played a variety of champs. It's actually going to be the Viego, which is interesting. LDLC are usually the ones who end up having that banned against them, but as we were kind of expecting, with the Jinx available... Yeah, you're not going to lock in Jhin, right? There you go. See, they're just going to lock that one. That makes a lot more sense. Jinx is like the best AD carry right now. And you think about options, Jhin could be one for Exakick. Ezreal, we have seen the occasional Varus, Tristana. There are some that are popping back up. Yeah,
I was going to say, looking in the Varus matchup, I do actually really like the potential of it too.
Is good.
If you do have other mobility options and something like a top Kench to be able to save it from sure death. This also isn't too bad of an option as well, as they lock in a fantastic support and jungle combination.
That's the thing. You don't need to pick the AD carry now with so many of the strong ones taken off and Jinx grabbed. So instead, they're going to get the jungle support combo. They're going to get the Xin Zhao, who's one of the strongest early game jungles, and then they're just going to go ahead and probably pick AD carry on 3 there. Otherwise, Vitality.Bee is going to continue to pinch that pool. Other side here, Vitality, they need to secure a jungle pick of their own. They can't afford to go for a strong blind mid. That's why you see the Rise Hover, which could make a lot of sense. Syndra is up. Orianna is up, and we've seen Diplex play for that one a lot, even though I'm not as high on her.
Yeah, I think Orianna is definitely the weakest of the options of what I like to call just the, just the default control mage trio of Ryze and Orianna that are the safest blind picks. And she's not super great, but the Jhin Hover will actually be transferred over onto LDLC side. I'm surprised they didn't pick up a mid laner, but here we are, and Vitality.Bee should be looking to ban them out.
I mean, again, this was kind of the problem you were expecting. If you don't pick an AD carry, you get banned out by Vitality.Bee. They'll take away the Jhin. They'll take away some other AD carry potentially too, so they didn't want that to happen, and now you're just going to see things targeting the solo lanes for the most part. Top lane, or mid, technically, depending on who you look at there with the Akali ban. Ahri makes sense. We could see Syndra come through. Syndra Jhin, though, might be a little tough because you'd be low on damage. We could actually very well see LDLC go for a more scaling pick in the mid lane, just because what Jhin already means you are going to have a bit of low damage later on. And because you have the Rakan and the Xin Zhao, you can, if you find these support roams, have a lot of skirmishing power, even though your mid may not be the strongest early.
Which is why I think a good DPS option that can also possibly follow up with the Rakan and Xin Zhao would be the Azir.
True.
I think Azir, just to add a differentiation of that damage, and because you're lacking a potential burst and like just high output would be nice, or just something bursty to go along with the Jin's type of composition that they might be playing, as Xerath gets banned away as well up against Ica. So nice love to LDLC to pick their solo lanes.
Right, and you gotta imagine it's gonna be a top, and actually no, it's probably gonna be a blind mid. A scaling pick is what I'm expecting here for LDLC, and you're gonna wait, give Ragnar that counter pick. It could also go the other way. Ragnar often gets put on the weak side picks. You could see them pick a blind there too. Okay, the fact that Gwen is available means I think this is a great pickup there for Ragnar. He's gone huge on the pick before. She's broken as all hell. Just give it to him.
And I think this is where you pick Kennen. This right here,
it is.
If you are a Vitality.Bee, you actually have such a good comp for Kennen as well.
True.
As long as you have just a tankier jungler, you are more than okay. Or you decide to pick the Gnar, and this is because Hullbreaker is still broken. I get it, Sujetta's played it before. It's just such a default pick, and it's locked in snooze.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you do kind of have that range that you can play into the Gwen with. It isn't as good as something like a Jace, like, a Lucian, which we've seen from time to time, or the Kennen that you're talking about, which is a particularly good in lane against Gwen. So, it's going to be not the worst of laning phases here for Ragnar, and as a Gwen, that usually bodes pretty well for the opposite team here. But now, the very last pick coming through for Vitality is the Hecarim, so you do see a lot of dive, a lot of all-in potential there. It's not Kindred. They're going to go for a mid laner. I'm pretty sure it'll be like a scaling pick.
Kindred
Victor,
mid.
Corki, something like that. No, shut up.
Look, I've seen it happen before but in very rare
There you go.
instances, and yeah, this makes sense. It's standard, it's good, it's a Victor, it has wave clear, but it's not fun. And I stand
What
by
is
that.
fun?
Huh?
What is
Kindred
fun?
mid. That's fun.
You know what's more fun than that?
What's that?
Winning. That's right.
You're boring. Whatever.
Victory. And that's what both of these teams are looking for here. LDLC want to secure themselves as the sole first place team in LFL Spring, guarantee themselves to qualify for EU Masters, and Vitality.Bee, they're just trying to get a piece of that EUM pie.
Fourth game of the day, match of the day, LDLC versus Vitality.Bee. As we head on in, pretty standard start, 5-point starts from all these teams. No real contentious early wars besides the standard stuff that we are usually used to seeing.
In this early game, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. LDLC, we know, are one of the teams who love to be explosive early on. Vitality.Bee showed us yesterday they can play that very same game as well. And that means that, well, I mean, you have Skeens on this Hecarim, so maybe that isn't what we're expecting. But LDLC, though, the Xin Zhao, the Rakan, that is what I'm looking for here. A lot of the vision that we've seen so far is defensive.
Yep.
But because, of course, Hecarim is going to get the leash, it looks like, from the bot lane, they will have the information. They'll know Skeens is heading towards the top side of the map. And Yike actually starting solo red means that he probably won't meet Skeens during the early clear, but that's usually something you want to see. Punish Hecarim during his first two clears. That is when junglers like him, like Gwen, are extremely weak.
So I think what might potentially happen is, and now this is what I am assuming. So go ahead and fix me here because you are the biggest brain here, of course. So what I would think is, Yike goes for the full clear, right? Does his forceful thing, no real fancy smashy stuff, and then in the middle of his second clear is what he tries to go for the invade on Skeens and assumably on his blue. Because he's going to come up last, and by then Ragnar should have gotten pushed. He should be around level 4, I want to say. So as a Gwen, you could put up just a fair bit of damage because remember, Gwen is good, Gwen is immune, and Gwen has high DPS options.
Speaking of, we're seeing a good bit of damage coming through bottom lane. Jin Rakan able to get real aggressive. However, Doss is in trouble. Okay, no, he's fine. Yeah, that's right.
He has the Guardian too, it's okay.
That's true.
But there is no heal on this bot lane either, so
yeah,
he will definitely have to play a little bit safer, but it's fine because Rakan has a built-in heal, right? So
That's
he's
true.
okay on that end. Should be able to sustain pretty solidly. Jenna has a pretty nice wave stacked up, but I think Ragnar definitely wants this, right? Because just so he can execute on the potential, blue dive that I was hypothesizing earlier on. And this would be the way to set it up, to slowly just kind of slow push Sejenda all the way back. But it's still Gnar, and he'll be able to massive wave clear pretty easily. As yeah, you see just full clears from both sides.
and that's the range into melee in those early levels that do not favor Gwen at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what we expect here. Now, though, because you have top push, and you technically do have push mid with this Rise, you're going to have an easy time feeling very confident going for this Scuttle Crab. And it also helps that that ward that was placed earlier by Diplex gave the info that Aka, or rather not Aka, Yike is not going to be in the vicinities. On the bottom side, you know it's the Scuttle trade, and now Skeens, ooh, I like this.
I was going to say, we could see some alcove gaming here, playing around
Oh,
the
he doesn't
vision
know.
to it. See, this is beautiful
Nicely done.
by Vitality.Bee. One more auto. Gwen is
Oh,
immune.
Gwen is immune.
Gwen is immune. Y'all forgot, man. As he heading down to the bottom lane. See one onto Doss. The Ignite put down. More than half of his health is taken away. Still okay, though.
Yeah, no, it was a really nice play from Skeens. Up on the top side, you do pressure Ragnar, force him to use the Ghost and have to teleport back a little sooner than you might hope. So he's going to get that second door and get the boots. It's going to set him just a little bit behind there. And that's the thing, too, with these junglers. Yeah, you are mostly there to farm until level 6, but you do have very few openings at the beginning and end of some of your clears and Skeens. uses that window beautifully. As so far, Vitality.Bee do have that slight lead because of some of the CS that we've been seeing. A lot of it is top, because again, melee into range, this is what you expect. And I want to see LDLC try to find something here. Yike's already gone for the first recall. Could be looking to get to that level 6, I think, considering the CC that's available on Vitality.Bee's side and the skirmishing power they have. Having access to that crescent guard is going to be really valuable.
I like that also the Apex is also able to get first move out of the mid lane too. He's able to spot that almost all of Yike's top camps are taken. So the bot lane instead will go ahead and take a bit of a later back at least. And since the wave is pushing in, as wave should be pushing against LDLC. So from there, they should be able to balance this out and stay relatively safe to make sure Yike doesn't have an option to try to go for a potential gank, as he is already moving down to the bot lane. And he might look towards Dragon instead as he takes his bot camps.
Probably not yet, but I think he's going to start looking soon. His bot camps are respawning, and the opposite is true for Skeens. He has an opening to go top. You saw the assist ping there, I think, from Shigenda, but it's probably going to be when he manages to crash that wave. And you see it. Skeens helps Diplex with the crash. Diplex hits level 6 and has access to the Realm Warp, so they could go for this play top.
Yeah, you see them moving up. But DOS has sniffed this out. It's already there. Good on him. It was only level 3, but as a support, all the levels you need, because you know why? You get
all 3 abilities.
All 3 abilities, yeah, baby.
That's it.
And on Rakan, you only need 2, so you're fine.
But the healing is kind of nice. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's nice when you don't need it, right?
Yeah, that's true. But Shigenda, hits level 6 just in time. I think ultimately this is good because LDLC have DOS on the roam. Maybe potentially sniffing out the play here. You saw Skeens there once. You could see it again. Oh my god.
There's a Realm Warp down as well as they look to go in. DOS manages to get away, and the Meganar just times out. So LDLC dodging a couple bullets.
Yeah, dodging some very dangerous bullets there. And it only costs 1 flash from DOS.
Yep.
So you're ultimately not in the worst of positions. However,
Ragnar knows they were here. They were on a ward as he puts out the snip, but he's a bit too far forward. There we go. No more immunity for you, my friend. As the fear comes out, level 6 for Skeens. Has the knock-up Ignite. Should be able to get him. No heal available, and he dies. DOS gets 1.
Yeah, and that answer back, and Aka walking his way back up is going to give the opportunity for this wave to get shoved. Ragnar, though, is going to lose out on some of the golden XP because he fell. He does have the option of going mid if he wants to catch this next wave, or he could just go back to the top lane, and Aka walks his way back. Either way, just back and forth between these two teams in the early parts. This is good from Vitality, though. This is what we were wanting from them. That activity, them trying to make some of these plays early, and they have been, even if they haven't been working.
You know, I was thinking for a second that Sugenda would have actually gone ahead with one in the Gnar, maybe try to get the just double stun, but also 3v1 inside of a wave would have been a bold and brazen play, but that's the way Vitality have been liking to play so far. Yeah. Bold and brazen plays like this when, even though they're on vision, they still go for this.
That's right. They waited, and LDLC feel good about this because they have DOS and Yike in the area. Problem is, Diplex is also still here, so it helps secure that kill onto Shigenda as Skeens continues on as well with the onslaught of shadows. Problem is, even if you're level up on Xin Zhao, his early stats are unreal. Had he been level 6, this could have been a very different skirmish, but he was not, so it's Vitality.Bee who find themselves at least finding some success in these early plays. Because I did say it's not working, but to be fair, if you go 1 for 1, your top laner gets 1 and their support gets a kill, you're actually really happy about that.
Oh, 100% you are. And with all this pressure already being driven over the top lane, this is realistically a lot of what Vitality did yesterday as well. When they played through Sugenda and on that Camilla pick, right, they were able to actually draw a ton of pressure. Win the game through that, because Sugenda quite good at playing the top lane and making sure, as I called it, being the dangling piece.
Right, and he's been really good at that, drawing away pressure, as you say. Right now, he could very well be doing the same thing in the side lane later on as this Gnar. The thing is, though, later on, it's going to be really hard to deal with Ragnar, because Gwen is that champion. Look, not great early. Yes, you can abuse that if you want to, but the danger is 2 items. You see that Nashor's Tooth come through? Oh my god, like, it is something to be feared. It is a 1v9 champ. That's why Vitality.Bee have to keep up the pressure so LDLC do not get to that point, because it's not just this Gwen, it is also the Victor.
I mean, I was going to say, technically, Ragnar right now does have 2 items. 2 completed items, I should say. with the Doran's ring and the Doran's shield.
You're right. Ragnar's already online. Let's
exactly.
go.
It's over right now for everybody on Vitality. But yeah, having to take both Dorans just for the extra safety. As speaking of safety, DOS has ventured out of his. Jackstrol's not level 6 yet. Close to it, but they cannot go for the all-in as Jessica just hits level 7 as well. So now Exekick and DOS under some duress as the support matchup is heavily in favor of Leona.
Yeah, Naika, talk about immobile carries. There's one right here.
Yeah, there we go. They both get stunned up, but one's knocked back as the jungler is there. As Skeens will get his first of the game.
Really nicely played there, set up by Diplex. And that's the thing, Onslaught of Shadows, just that easy to layer CC after CC. And now, because of that, you get yourself priority over that dragon, and it's going to be easy for Vitality.Bee to pick up their first one. They're keeping up the pressure, and Skeens, we talked about that early time of being vulnerable. It's not here anymore, and it's tough because Yike actually is 2 levels down right now and hasn't been able to find very much.
Yeah, he's been just getting out-farmed, right? Haven't been able to do much of this. We're saying how you want to look for this on the second clear as Jessica dodges every single one of the bullets expertly. And you were talking about the CC chains that happened. What I loved as soon as you were saying that, Ica buys Merc Treads, like, just right away. Yeah. He's like, you know what, man, I don't want to be stunned up for 9,000 years. I'm not playing against Morgana. Please let me be free.
Doesn't take the cleanse, so it's going to be your best bet to at least try and give yourself some way of playing.
TP's so good though, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm saying he didn't take the cleanse.
Oh, true, yeah.
I don't blame him for not doing so, keep in mind, as we get ourselves into a pause here.
Yeah.
We're seeing like the early game. Honestly, now Vitality, they do find themselves at a lead. They have been making pretty successful plays where it feels like Yike is just behind right now. And to be fair, part of it is because his laners aren't quite online yet. You look at the Victor, you need some time. We keep talking about it. Lost chapter, E upgrade. Then you start feeling good about playing for him and trying to set up some of these dives. Top lane, Gwen's not there yet. Bottom lane, you can, but Jin Rakan, the damage isn't that substantial, so you are leaning a lot on Yike to be able to help burst down targets, but I still think that's probably going to be their best bet because I'm pretty sure Yike is sitting on the Rift Herald, and a successful dive, get some turret plates, maybe a turret, would be their way back into this game.
Indeed, yeah, because then with the turret, you get to open up the map, you allow one of your lanes to be free. I'm hoping at that point it would actually be Gwen, just because once Gwen gets some soul gold onto her too, is allowed to split push and gets to 2 actual full items. But like you mentioned before, things get very, very good. Even just Riftmaker on her too.
Pretty
just
good.
Allows her to side lane at least 1v1 against this Narthik too, which so far has been terrorizing her.
Right, you can see it. It reflects in the CS lead. 23 right now in favor of Shigenda on top of that kill. That is coming through.
And
so
growing.
Yeah, it is certainly growing as he's currently farming a wave right now as Ragnar walks his way back. The moment though, DOS is clearing out some vision here. You see Exekick just shoved the wave, so he's setting up a lot of deep vision actually, which is good. Trying to get an idea of where Skeens is going to be. It's going to be very helpful for Aka, someone who is quite vulnerable to that Rune Prism Onslaught of Shadows combo. And I think that's the thing you got to be playing for here, tracking this Hecarim so he doesn't surprise you. So far, he's been surprising LDLC quite a bit, but instead of a dive, we're actually just going to see the Herald dropped mid-dry.
Interesting, yeah. Gives, about almost 2 plates worth of gold over both Ica and Yike. Try to keep them at least in contention, but not enough XP to make a difference for Yike, who, like you mentioned, is already 2 levels down and desperately needs to farm. And Vitality.Bee see this, so they decide to take advantage of that and try to deny him even more farm. As Skeens is in his top lane alongside Jacktroll, spot him on the ward, but did not be able to get him yet as Ragnar's pushed under tower. They're going for the dive bot lane though, said Jeskla. Not knocked up either. There's the ignite and the final shot from Exekick. We'll get that.
Took a couple flashes and Jeskla almost outplayed it, but he wasn't able to dodge out on the quickness. So he manages to fall. That is a big play there, punishing the fact that Jacktroll is not in the area. And that you do at least get something with the fact that you're not really allowed in your own jungle here. At Aka, of course, the laser is going to be able to identify at least some people are there. And Yike, he's only a level down right now, so he feels pretty good about looking for this.
I mean, and he does exactly that, but that's a massive solar flare. And Ragnar is just simply dead. not able to immune in time. A double knockup will dissipate any more aggression.
Man, that fight is not it. You do not have the tools, you do not have the items to be able to come out on top right now.
No.
Skeens already has that Mythic coming through. Rise has enough mana with the tier and the Mana Crystal to be able to really start spamming spells, getting that little bit of AP, of course, that you get from his passive. So going in for that is so risky, and it was such a low chance of paying off that they're getting punished for it now. You see the wave Ragnar's losing top lane. Even though he TPs, he isn't going to be in time to catch it. He's just going to have to catch the next one. And that lead from Shigenda skyrockets now up to almost 50 CS. Of course, that he got some of those turret plates top lane too. The gold lead must be insane.
So the question is now the beatdown, right? Although LDLC have suffered this basically already lost, we talk about them being resilient, right? Are we looking for them to be able to find plays mid game? Are we looking for them to stack towers, or just simply just get Rift Heralds and maybe open up more towers?
So I think for Vitality, you want to fight for that second Rift Herald here. You still have Diplex, who has that Mythic up on Aka, should be able to still fight for mid priority, so you can fight for this Rift Herald. You can use it to break open the mid lane, because top lane basically just sneeze on it, it's going down. Bot lane, you don't have to worry about that one just yet. I think it's going to be about opening mid, so you can push this wave further and further, and in hopes that you're going to be able to continue holding on to priority mid, so you can get to these objectives first.
As of right now, we got to be looking out for a lot more on how the setups go for both of these teams, because LDLC need to find small ways and inches to try to battle against the lead that Vitality.Bee is already building. And this should be fine, right? It's they're not super adverse to try to do that, but we'll see as Yike goes for this play once more. He has to pop the Crescent Guard, and he has to use the flash, but the solar flare is there. And if you can tell by the sound of my voice, it is utter confusion that I feel.
Again, Yike had the... I think he might have actually just purchased the Gore Drinker. I don't know if he had it beforehand, but either way, really, again, kind of pushing the limits there of what you can actually do in this situation, and he gets punished for it hard. That's Vitality.Bee not only continuing to control this game, get these gold leads, they're going to stack to this Dragon Soul as well, which is going to be very beneficial for them, as it's an Ocean Soul that we have. You're going to get all that healing once you secure it over time, whether it's damage or not. And Shigenda, you can see it, him showing up in that fight, flexing, what is that? 2,800 gold lead in his favor. It is unreal.
They land a deadly first onto one. The Jackal should be dead. The second shot should be able to secure this. The fourth shot, there we go. Just enough damage from Exakick. It's a double.
So that will get you a turret, and that is a big deal. LDLC's bottom lane has honestly been going insane this game, constantly winning out the fights, constantly winning out on the skirmishes, and it is kind of LDLC's light in this dark here, because this Exakick will be very strong on this Jhin. When you see the curtains open up, he will be able to at least help set up, make these plays happen. LDLC are by no means out of this game. But the thing is, they keep looking for these plays that aren't quite there for them. They're not at these crucial spikes where they're actually going to be able to do something, where they're starting to get there. Now you see Leandri's come through for Aka. You're waiting for maybe that second item. As you can see, Exakick is also halfway to his second item. Then that's when LDLC will feel strong. That's when you really can look for some of these skirmishes here. But Shigenda, or rather Ragnar, is so far behind, those spikes are going to be a little desynced.
Yeah, because Ragnar's are right about 500 gold away from getting his Riftmaker, right? So, like, that once that does come in, like you're saying already, he'll be at least be able to confidently side lane, and having a bit more, just healing on him. Be quite nice to battle against his almost two items agenda, which so we're able to keep him satiated. But like you're mentioning, this desync absolutely helps nobody. At least he gets a free lane, but that also means that at this point, Vitality.Bee gets on a roam around the map and set up for the next dragon. It is in the next 3 minutes, but they're still looking to drop this Rift Herald somewhere. I'm assuming it would be around mid.
Yeah, still definitely the goal there. It's going to allow them to push that wave further, give them more time to allow themselves to clear out vision, because right now LDLC are committing a lot of members to make sure they have that push mid, to make sure that they can, at least for the moment, control vision around that dragon. That's why Aka's only just moving to the bot lane now. He's going to be able to farm it out, build his way towards that crucial second item. But overall, good game state for Vitality.Bee. They just need to use that Rift Herald. Yep, like we were expecting. And already, Jack Troll is doing some work clearing out vision.
Yep.
Means they're going to have that much more time and control over this river. LDLC, they're falling behind all across the map.
Sadly so. But yet again, the point that we keep hammering home, and everybody should remember, because we've seen them come back from so much worse.
That's
And we
true.
say it all the time. We're like, there's no way to
Because
come
we
back from this.
have to.
Like, it's like, there's no way to come back from this, right? There's no way. And some way, somehow, where there is an LDLC, there is a way. But as I yet again beg the question, why LDLC? There's no way you go for that again.
Yeah, this time it was a little different. I think they get caught out because DOS
Sure.
really needs to get some vision down. Really needs to give LDLC some way back into this river here, because now it's even worse for them. Now Vitality.Bee, you see them move in, see if they can find some camps, hold on to control of this vision, and it gives Diplex this freedom to be able to just free hit the turret, continue farming these waves. You can see his lead starting to grow over Aka, and it means in a minute 30 time, we're going to start to see some recalls come through from the laners of Vitality.Bee, and that will allow them to, one, spend the gold, hold on to the lead that they have, and use it to go for this dragon play. Shigenda, of course, has TP, so he can join whenever he wants. He's 2 items deep. He's feeling so good.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnar has TP too. He can try to join if he
No Rift Maker,
does
though.
so, please. I mean, he definitely
I
has
think
it on
he's
his
getting
back.
it
Yeah, on his back, he definitely has it. But should be able to also get some, maybe a couple of daggers on him. You know, have some attack speed. See, there you go.
That'd be
Look at
nice.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should help him out. But like you're asking, is just simply not enough. Not even a single dagger. That is absolutely tragic. But we shall wait and hold out hope for him to get at least just a couple more waves, and then. But until then, Vitality.Bee can just exert all the pressure they want to across this this third dragon. But LDLC are moving here first. They have a couple of words now.
They do, but still, 20 seconds out. You gotta imagine the play is that Vitality.Bee are gonna clear out vision now. They still have Diplex threatening this bottom tier 1 turret, and even though the scuttle is there, Vitality.Bee, they don't have a comp you really want to be face checking against. That's kind of the problem. Whole map is dark. Some deep vision is coming through. Maybe we could see Ragnar go for a flank TP now that he has Riftmaker, but it's looking like LDLC are just conceding. They want to see if they can threaten the mid-tier 1 turret and maybe get a little bit more off of this if they can. It'll be 2 turrets on the map, but it's a dangerous game state for LDLC.
Yeah, because Agenda is still there. They find the knock-up, well, I'll just say just not a knock back, but that's the end of it. They're not able to get it. They should definitely get top tower, though.
Yeah, so at least that gold will be going in their favor, but look at Diplex. He's still free hitting, still damaging this turret. Now it's going to be the tier 2 that's under threat. He will walk away, though, of course, because he respects that people are walking into fog and threatening him. But ultimately, you can see it. He's been so effective on the split, constantly getting these waves pushed in for Vitality.Bee, and it makes it harder for LDLC because every time they try something, in the situation where they're falling further and further behind, they have to overcommit resources, and that means there's someone punishing them in the side lane.
And this is a lot of situations that we saw similarly with Game Ward and Mirage, right? Where every single time they try to make a play, they were losing something else across the entire map. By the end of it, Game Ward was quite strong in terms of team fighting, but that's because the game was super long. But realistically, this game should also have a similar length, right? We're not expecting the same sort of stomp that Misfits gave out earlier in the day, but with the Vitality game, right, you never truly know, because when it comes down to the making snap decisions, they're quite good, but LDLC is also no chump when it comes to executing within a dime. But so far, those snap decisions have cost them just a bit. Speaking of which, there we go. Looking for a potential play. I will find it.
At least DOS gets out with this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't have summoners to blow, so he's just going to do it the old-fashioned way with the battle dance and a buddy. So overall, LDLC, they're still looking.
Yeah.
They're not giving away too much this time around. It's not like those earlier plays where you're taking really risky engages. But we're getting there. Because look, Exakick is at 2 items now. You're getting really close with Aka. They could get Diplex.
No, they can't.
Wow. Phase Rush is cool.
Indeed. In fact, he gets more damage onto Aka even after being stunned and walks away with full health.
Sprints away, more like it.
Oh, absolutely, bro. He is almost near to Usain Bolt at this point, by the way he's running track around the bottom lane. So as Agenda goes top lane to catch his wave, as The rest of the team still centering around bot side. They want to keep pressure there as well, considering it is 240 until the next dragon, right? Which LDLC literally have to fight over.
That's exactly it. That's why you see them committing so many members. They're focusing mid, they're focusing bot, and they have a timer because Ragnar finished shoving that top wave. They're going to use it.
That's a double knock-up as they find more schemes, though, on the backside, still staying alive. It's 1-for-1 as both supports are down. Diplex on the middle. He's taking 4 shots. Jessica has to go in for him. And
Aika's here.
has to move back. Aika as well. They don't find a deadly flourish, but they can't move in. Agenda at the back will get X-a-kick with a beautiful flank. And LDLC lose 3.
Oh, but they might get one back here.
Agenda's a bit too far forward. He is mini-nar. He's quite squishy.
That's a big shutdown.
That's a shutdown for Ragnar.
That's a big deal. This Gwen gets a lot of gold in their pocket. A lot of low health bars means you got to back off. Still, though, in favor of Vitality, ultimately, it is the 2 for 3, and that was one of the best looks of LDLC have had all game long, and we'll see it in the replay. But for now, the gold lead slightly climbing more and more towards Vitality.Bee, but the moment we've been waiting for is finally here, but we'll talk about it after the replay. And you can see it. DOS gets the angle with that ward, and they full commit. I love the Crescent Guard knocking Jack Troll over the wall as well, and that gives X-a-kick the ability to get the kill and open up the curtains. The thing is, Aika, because he TP'd mid, had to walk the old-fashioned way to join this fight, and Shigenda really flexing that gold lead is what partially saved it here. Still, I think Ragnar walking away with the shutdown was a big deal because it secured that moment we were talking about here, the second item spike for pretty much all of LDLC. So now they're in a moment where you already saw the team fight is not bad from this team. Now it's in a pretty good spot. Aika's 2, X-a-kick is 2, and Ragnar has 2.
Indeed, and Agenda kind of overstepping there is a little bit unfortunate, right? It would have been nice if he just decided we don't need enough, but when you're this far ahead, you see blood in your eyes, you say, you want more, you can get more. This time you can't. But on the other end, you know, LDLC at this point in time can at least sort of stabilize within the next 30 seconds, but all of Vitality.Bee are up. So they need to find a pick like that again if they're denied a soul.
Speaking of picks, Diplex layering a bit of CC onto DOS here, but there it is. This is kind of what's been happening the whole time. When you're ahead the way Vitality.Bee are, you constantly will have control over vision when it's time for the objectives, and that's why you see so many people here on this bottom side. LDLC trying to brute force Prio bot and having Ragnar get Prio mid. The problem is now so much darkness, so much time for Vitality.Bee to just go for the burst.
Ragnar finds it though. There's actually a solo for right on the backside. It gets yiked and move in, and they get it. That's Ocean Soul for Vitality. But as the fight continues, X-a-kick is still alive, and Jessica is dead. As all our Vitality are falling one after the next. That's a big fourth shot from LDLC, as they only lose 1, and they look to get 4. Jack Troll should be able to get away, but they're still chasing, no stun. He is quite tanky in the final seconds. He'll die.
This is the way back in. LDLC, they get a lot of kills. Even though they lose Soul, they have to snowball this into the Baron. They have enough damage to get it done. Skeens, he's on the other side of the map. He's just going to be able to trade the tier 2 turret for them. LDLC getting a big fight, getting a big chunk of gold, means they might be back in this unless Jeskla.
Maybe, no.
Good instinct, honestly, from X-a-kick to block that far away from the Baron so the burst damage doesn't come through. So this is it. You get that extra chunk of gold. LDLC are finding themselves in the lead, even with that tier 2 going down in the bottom lane. So now, although Ocean Soul makes it really hard for LDLC to play, the burst damage is there. They have it.
And as we look at the replay here yet again, you see that right in the middle of the pit, there is a lot of fight from Agenda, but he becomes mini way too early as well. And that leads to just the overall downfall of what transpires for the rest of the fight.
And I think if Vitality.Bee do win this game, especially off the back of the Soul, a lot of credit to Jack Troll. That Solar Flare onto Yike to make sure he can't get into the pit in time with the Wind Becomes Lightning, with the Audacious Charge, is what allowed Skeens to be able to secure it here. And because of the Ocean Soul, the fact that LDLC are in the lead, even if slight, isn't as impactful as it would have been otherwise.
It's definitely quite nice, but the fact that you have Baron on all 5 of your members, because I was thinking if that Rocket actually did hit
Oh, that'd have been GG.
Ragnar, like not even just even a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Right, would have been awful because you would definitely die from splash damage. Nonetheless, though, that's not there. What we're seeing right now is a not necessarily a base race, but a base walk from both these sides as they manage to get one inhib, and Sagenda only manages to move up to the top tier 2.
Diplex has Realm Warp. They could be looking because they know that Aka is actually on the other side of the map. Aka could join with TP. I think they're just trying to delay these backs as much as possible. The question is if they go too far.
They move in. There's a knockup onto one. That's an immediate stopwatch as well. Jenna's still alive, but Skeen's also
there. Oh, they're going in.
And a snip. Soar for a cleanse immediately by so many. The Gnar misses. That's so unfortunate.
Curtain call.
And now the curtain call. We'll get so many more. The double knockup onto one more. As Vitality.Bee are falling like flies. Diplex next target. They lose 2 of the laners.
This is the LDLC that we keep talking about. The LDLC you can never count out. They find an angle. They wait for Vitality.Bee to step just an iota too far. And with 2 crucial picks, they could end the game.
Dude, this is crazy. This is the fact that it was just one single thing. But maybe this might be when they step a bit too far forward. If they get Skeens here, the game is over. But they want to try to get the tower.
Whoa.
They go in inside. Yike wants it. Just Cloud, he wants him dead. But he's still on the tower. They managed to get one. But
Where did he
LDLC
go?
might be taking a bit too far forward. Jessica's still alive. He has to get the
Are
reset.
you
They're all still
serious?
alive. LDLC off of one fight managed to do it. And Executive Kick gets a triple kill.